Audio Jungle.
Saya kat sini pun lebih kurang dalam 9 tahun lah. Okay, duk pancing kawasan ni 9 tahun. Tak memang banyak. Sebelum ni kawasan ni memang hutan lah. Hutan. Tapi waktu saya main tu kawasan ni dah ada. Ikan pun banyak juga. Sekarang ni dah kurang dah sejak ada projek-projek ni kan. Gangguan daripada jalan tu dia buat ikan terkejut lari. Ketara
kurang banyak.
Tak macam dulu. Dulu tu kita tengok, kita dengar memang banyak lah orang hari-hari orang bawa ikan, guna ikan kan. Sekarang ni susah tak dengar. Dia kawasan ni lah saya rasa. Perubahan lah banyak. Dia punya karang-karang dia ni pun dah tak ada lah. Kan waktu dia orang buat projek ni habis dia orang angkat habis dah. Tak ada. So tambakan lah, kita panggil tambakan laut ni yang menyebabkan ikan tu semua lari. Dia ganggu dah ekosistem dia sebelum ni kan.
So, we now at Kapasing Drive and I will interview some of the joggers about the condition before then. Okay, so now we will we'll approach this brother. Okay, bang. Assalamualaikum bang.
Salam.
Okay, jadi saya ada beberapa soalan untuk ditanya tentang kawasan Kapasing Drive ni lah. Apa yang berlaku, apa yang berubah semua.
Saya tak adalah jogging lama sangat kat sini, dalam 5 tahun macam tu. Saya nampak tempat ni macam memang start dia daripada kampung. Dia macam pantai biasa je. Sebab nak bagi dia tak nak dihakis, macam laut kan, tepi laut. So kita tahu bila dia ni dia akan hakis tanah ni. Harapan tu tak adalah macam sekarang ni cantik kat, tapi kalau kita give back, macam apa, get back to nature, so bagus lah kalau macam tu.
About 60 and 50 years ago, there were not so much land reclamation going on, especially on the east coast of Penang Island. And about 25 years, and then we started to see many land reclamation, especially from the stretch of the coastal area in Bayan Baru to Bayan Lepas. So we used to have a small patch of mangrove along the coast, around surrounding Penang Island. And after the developments, and also especially the land reclamation at the coastal area, most of this mangrove were lost as early as in the 1970s.
I'm here at our site, Kapasing Drive, where, as you can see, the large mangrove ecosystem that used to exist here in the past has been replaced by the landfill, development, and also fishing boats, fishing houses. So our company, Purple Dinosaur Private Limited, hopes to increase the fish stocks and as well as reduce coastal erosion by regenerating this mangrove ecosystem in the past. Many companies have planted mangroves without considering that mangroves are actually third or fourth colonizers of the land. Our company plans to imitate the natural succession of this mangrove ecosystem by planting it side by side with the seagrass ecosystem. By planting the correct species at the correct time, we hope to reduce the mangrove mortality in this area and hence increase or restore this mangrove ecosystem to the way it was 20 years ago. Succession, or more accurately, ecological succession, is a process of change in species composition of a habitat over time. A habitat is first colonized by a few pioneer species by a process known as primary succession. This is then followed by a few stages of secondary successions until a climax community is achieved. A climax community is one that is described to be self-perpetuating and in equilibrium with the physical habitat. Our company plans to restore the mangrove and seagrass ecosystem as they work hand in hand. The two species of seagrass that will be planted are the spoon seagrass, Halophila ovalis, and the eelgrass, Anhelus acroides. The spoon seagrass is a very good colonizer which can survive harsh conditions. During our survey at Pulau Gazumbo, which is a habitat in the process of succession, we found that spoon seagrass is a prevalent species. The spoon seagrass will be planted at the site and monitored from month 1 to 6. Once the muddy substrate is stabilized, we will begin the planting of eelgrass as a climax seagrass community system. The beach at Kapal Sing Drive will be first stabilized with beach morning glory, Ipomea pescarpe. This plant can survive harsh conditions and functions as to prevent further coastal erosion by waves. After 6 months, we will plant the herbaceous Pi raya, which is Aristicum aureum, and Avicennia side by side. Avicennia is a colonizing mangrove, while the Pi raya functions to provide detritus and further hold the muddy substrate. Once this mangrove population is stabilized, we can plant the more sturdy rhizophora species. The mangrove ecosystem will be closely monitored for a year to prevent any disturbances.
Many of the mangrove restoration, especially after the 2004 tsunami, is due to a failure. Now we have a very high failing rate when it comes to mangrove restoration, as high as 95% of failure, which means out of every 100 seedlings that you replant at this tsunami impacted site, only 5 survive. So the reason being they've planted mainly the wrong species at the wrong site.
The first outcome that we are expecting is actually to increase the fish population in the coastal area in Penang. Mangrove are plant communities that can be considered as a part of the coastal ecosystem, and it has a very close relation with the coastal. By restoring mangrove back, we can help to restore back the habitat for many organisms that rely on mangrove to spawn, and mangrove can act as a nursery and breeding ground for them. With the increase of fishes come to the mangrove area to spawn, it can help to increase the fish diversity and population in this area. Another outcome is that mangrove can act as a buffer zone to protect the coastal area. Mangrove have very strong structures that can help to reduce the wind and wave energy that comes towards the shore. The dense root system of the mangrove can act as a buffer zone to trap the sediments and helps to reduce the wave energy toward the coastal area. Therefore, mangrove can act as a coastal defense against the strong wind or typhoon to help protect the inland structures. Besides that, mangrove can recycle the nutrients within its ecosystem. The nutrients, the detached part of the trees that fall on the ground can be decomposed by the microorganisms in the soil, and the nutrients will be utilized by the flora and fauna around the ecosystem. The nutrient influx also can support the other ecosystems like seagrass and coral reef ecosystem. In addition, mangrove trees also can help to store the carbon dioxide through the photosynthesis process. They can store and accumulate the atmospheric carbon into the soil. Therefore, they can stabilize the atmospheric carbon and help to purify the air around.
And many do not know that mangrove actually play a role for our durian production. As you can see from this slides, right? No mangrove, no durians is because for the fruit bats that pollinate the durian flowers, actually they will use the rest of the fruiting seasons in the mangrove. They also utilize some of the mangrove flowers as food source when the durian flowers is not flowering. So that in other words, no mangrove, no durian.